Yes! And we're good. Finally. Alright. Alright, now we're good. Got it. Alright. Alright. Alright, guys. Let's get started, because I got a lot to do. Alright, so, welcome to the Cypher Zone, where what we do, we drink and we cook things. Today, we are going to do a bunch of homemade stuff. We're doing a homemade guacamole. We're doing queso. We're doing chips. We're doing some refried beans, some Spanish rice, and a little bit of some crispy tacos. Alright, guys, so what we're going to do is we're going to start with the rice. And so in order to do that, let's get our knife sharp. And so I've already run it through a sharpener. So I'll show you how that works. So this guy's got a metal and then a ceramic. The metal slowly takes bits of metal off, and then the ceramic helps refine it. And so then I'm going to take my steel. Now with steel, you can buy this thing just about anywhere. It doesn't sharpen the knife. It hones it. What it does is it puts the edge back on it. So what I just did was I just cut up a bunch of stuff and made the knife all jagged by sharpening it. So it was all kind of rough. The magnet on here takes all the dust off and it straightens the edge. So it just puts the edge back on. All right. There we go. Very, very simple. And very, very fun. Okay, so we're going to start with some bacon. We're going to start with the rice. And the rice is going to start out with a little bit of bacon. When you're using bacon for any recipe, you want to make sure, when you're dicing bacon for any recipe, you want to make sure that you are cutting that bacon. Or that you're chilling that bacon. And so this phone's kind of in my way, and it's annoying me, but I haven't figured out the best angle, so we're just going to deal with it. And I'll just go like this. When you're dicing bacon, you want it chilled as best as humanly possible. And so I throw mine in the freezer for about 15 to 20 minutes. It gets nice and cold, and then it allows that fat to be cut like a boss. Like a boss is what I'm saying. So, we're going to take this and we're just going to throw a nice little, we're going to throw a small dice on this because I'm adding this to my, this is going to be the start of my Spanish rice. So my Spanish rice, when you start a Spanish rice, you start it in fat. And so you sear it on the stove. You get a nice little color on it. So we're throwing this in this hot skillet. Well, semi-hot skillet. I just turned it on. So we're just going to let that kind of come down. And then we're going to start some bacon for the beans. And so we'll render that down as well. And so this one I want a little bit of a bigger dice because what I'm going to do is I'm going to refry these beans. So I want a nice fat rendering. And so what I'll end up doing is by cutting them into bigger pieces, the fat renders down a lot more. By cutting them into smaller pieces, you don't get as much fat because that fat is just basically going to dissolve. So we're going to start that real quick. Let's get that going. And so we'll throw that over here. Let that go. And I think we're done with the raw board. We'll get that out of the way. Get our hands washed real quick. Ladies, what do you think of the new camera angles, man? How are the new camera angles working? Good? Got 3 of them going. A lot of fun. Okay, so next we're going to start. What are we going to start? Let's do the chips. I want to do the chips because I'm waiting on this bacon to cook. This is going to take a few minutes. I'm just going to kind of getting that pan hot, letting this cook down. I'm going to start the rice. The rice is the one thing that I want to get going, mainly because with it being in the rice cooker, I want it to get down. Maybe we'll start the queso real quick. No, we'll do the guac because the guac is very simple. All right, we're gonna get another knife out. Throw a little edge on our knife. They perfect. They perfect. All right, so we want about, it's going to be about a half a cup of cilantro. So I'm going to take this, and I'm going to want a rough cut on the cilantro. Typically, I'll throw a mince on it, but I just want a rough cut. So that just means throw the knife through it. Make sure you don't have any really giant pieces. Just like this. When you're chopping like this, keep your thumb and your forefinger on the edge of the knife. It gives you good grip. And then take the other hand, put it right here on the front of the blade, and then rock. Just like that. Rock. Rock 'em, sock 'em, cilantro bots. And then we'll just add that to the bowl. There we go. We're going to do a real rustic avocado or guacamole. I'm not going to puree it or anything. So we're going to take the avocado. What you want to do is you want to just kind of run that knife all the way through it. And you're going to take the butt, twist, trash can, get rid of. And then I'm just going to kind of squeeze it out. Typically I would do a spoon, but we don't really need to. Apparently squeezing it out is very funny. My wife thinks she's a character. So, there we go. So we're just going to throw a quick chop on this. Nothing too crazy. I'm not looking for so much of a mashed guacamole as I'm looking for a smashed guacamole. And then we're going to take that, put our bowl up here. And we're just going to add this in. The new stream layout is dope and crisp, buddy. I appreciate it, my guy. I've spent too much money and too much time figuring this shit out. So I'm really glad that it is working. I've done a lot of research, watched a lot of streams, and made sure that what we are doing is different. So we've got our onion. I mean, not the onion. We have our guacamole. Son of a motherfucking bitch. We've got guacamole. Damn it. We got some things. We got some green shit in here. That's what we got. We got some avocado and we got some cilantro. That's what we have. And we have our bacon rendering down. I'm looking for this bacon to just kind of start to crisp up. Then I'll add my oil and I'll toast my rice. You want to start to toast your rice when you're doing a Spanish rice. This one, we're making refried beans with it. So I'm just looking for this fat to cook down. Get this sucker nice and crispy. It doesn't even actually have to be all that crispy. It just needs to be rendered down enough to where it can be pureed. Boom. So let's get all these guys in the middle. Kind of spread them out a little bit. That way they get a little even cook. And then back to our guac. Let's add, what else do we want to add? We need to add a little bit of garlic powder. Oh, I can't reach. I have T-Rex arms. A little garlic powder. I want to add about a tablespoon. I like a really garlicky guacamole. Some salt. Always salt your guac. We're going to do about a teaspoon. And a quarter of a teaspoon. The fuck? Why is this going off? Oh, because the oil is at the perfect temp. Oil is at the temperature I want to cook us some chips. So we'll get to that here shortly. All right, now black pepper. I want to add a quarter of a teaspoon. There we go. And then we're going to add, what else? Lime juice. We're going to do the zest and juice of 2 limes. So get out your, what is this? This is this is not a mincer. This is a microplane. Get out your microplane or grater or zester. And then you just zest the lime. This is going to add in a lot of the lime oils. And so it'll be nice and flavorful as we get going on this trip into Homemade Flavor Town. The drive-through of deliciousness, I like to say. So we get that going. So we just kind of, you just want to run it about a few times over the lime. You don't want to go too crazy with it because you're about to throw the juice in there. And then get that right there. Boom. Get rid of it. Nothing to it. Okay. Then let's slice the lime. 1, 2. Slice of lime. 3, 4. Juice of 2 limes. And this is going to be it. I'm not going to add any onion. I'm not going to add any salsa or anything. I just want a really rustic guacamole. And then our bacon should be, let's double check that real quick. I can start to smell this, and it's getting to where I want it. All right. This bacon's getting nice and crispy. This one is doing the same thing. Very, very nice. Very, very simple. And very dirty. So dirty. You got that? Good. Good camera angles. Alright. Get the rest of this guac going. Alright. Let's see what's up. Alright. So there's juice of 1 lime. Juice of 1.5 limes. Ooh, that bacon's popping. Where's popping? Juice of 2 full limes. And then we're just going to mix this up. Get a nice spoon. You just kind of want to toss it. You're going to toss the guac. It's almost like a fresco, so to speak. And actually, what I'm going to end up doing is I really like cotija cheese. So we're going to add some cotija cheese to it. Cotija! About 2 tablespoons. 1, 2. You just count about 2 on that. Give it a toss. Perfect. Get a bowl. Get rid of the plastic. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a little rustic guacamole. Alright, so let's get this in the fridge. Check our bacon. Perfect. We're going to turn our heat down because I don't want to burn the rice. I just want to toast the rice. And so this bacon right here is really where I want it. A lot of fat in there. A lot of flavor. We're going to turn the heat off. Alright. Just going to let this kind of cook down. Get it nice and crispy without it burning. And so we got all this yum-yums on here. And so if you can tell as you're looking, there's a lot of fat in there. There is not a lot of fat in here. And it's just about the same amount of bacon. And so you can definitely tell the difference as you're dicing it, what's going to end up happening. Actually, real quick, let's clean this board. Let's throw a little sauteed onion in there. That bacon is almost done, but not quite. I think I can get a little onion in there. We can brown some onion to go with our rice. A little sauteed onion. Oh, so you have a dedicated bacon pan, or are you a bacon fiend? I'm just a bacon fiend. That's just kind of what we do. So when dicing an onion, cut it in half. Leave your root end on. Take away the skin. You want to cut the end that is not the root end. This end, not this end. That way you have something to hold on to. Keep your knuckles back. Forefinger, thumb on the knife. And then just run some lines. We're just doing a kind of a quick small dice on here. Really quick. I want this bacon. And we're going to throw that in there. Because we're about to add some olive oil to it. There we go. Let's get that spinning. We're going to add olive oil to this pan so that way it will, we can toast our rice. So as you can see, this is starting to cook down. Smells amazing. Add about a tablespoon of olive oil right now just to break up some of the stuff on the bottom. And then saute that onion. So, what we're going to end up doing is I'm going to do a cup of rice. No, I'm going to do 2 cups of rice. Let's get our rice open. We're going to do 2 cups of rice. I'm going to saute it in this bacon onion mixture. A little bit more olive oil. We're just going to get it nice and toasty as I get the rice all out. We're going to throw about 2 tablespoons of olive oil in this pan. Turn it around. 1 cup. Hey, Hollandaise, what's up? Got another one going down. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add 4 cups of chicken broth. So we got a quart of chicken broth. Instead of water, I'm going to do broth. So we're going to get this bacon off of the heat real quick. It's starting to go. Woo! Not burnt, but flavor crystals. Flavor crystals. So we're just going to get a nice little toasting of this. Now while that is working, we're going to do a really quick chop on a tomato. When you're doing, what's it called, Spanish rice, you always want to add tomato and tomato sauce to your rice. So we're just going to throw a quick dice on this tomato. Just like this. Boom, boom, boom. You always cut it into lines, turn, cut it into dices. Lines, turn, dices. Stir your rice. Now I'm kind of going at a fast pace because I'm doing everything kind of at once. And so typically just start with one and then finish the one, then move on to the next. There's nothing wrong with doing it, but we're on kind of a little time constraint. So we're just going to kind of knock it out. And then throw a little quick dice on the rest of this tomato. And then let's just throw that in the skillet. Just to kind of bring it all together. So instead of tomato juice, or tomato sauce, yo, what's up, girl? Violet, what's going on, my girl? We are going to use salsa. As it's, I want to give it a lot more flavor. So we're just going to kind of spin that. And now I'm going to add it to my rice cooker with a quart of chicken broth. And then we'll let that go until it's nice and fluffy and done. And with the chicken broth, I don't have to add in a lot of salt. Actually, I'm not going to add any salt. Put that off the heat. Get our spatula. Alright. There we go. Now you can't see this. There's nothing really to see. All I'm doing is adding this rice to my rice cooker. And a rice is a 2-1 cook. So 2 parts rice, or 2 parts broth to 1 part rice, or 2 parts water to 1 part rice. And we're going to get a quick rinse on this. I'm just looking to kind of remove the rice from this skillet. I'm not looking to kind of get a lot of this char up. So I'm just going to kind of wipe it clean. Because we're going to use this as the basis for our taco meat. Alright, throw that back on the heat. And then we're going to throw our broth into the pan. That warm up. And then we'll start our beans. So we got 1 cup, 2 cups, 3 cups, 4 cups of rice, of water, of broth, of something. And then we'll turn it on. And that's it. Nothing to it. So, next, I'm going to add my bacon. What did I do with that spatula? And we'll get another spatula. I'm going to add my bacon to my food processor. Try to keep some of that fat in the pan. I'm just going to add the bacon to the food processor. I'm not looking to drain it. I'm not looking to. I want this fat reserved because we're going to do a couple of pans of. We're going to do refried beans. Well, how else do you do beans? Well, you got to fry them. So we're going to fry them in the bacon grease. So we'll set that right there. Turn the heat off. Let that cool. This is going. And then we're going to open up 2 cans of beans. One day I'm going to watch you make something like homemade ice cream and you're still going to bring out a pack of bacon. Fuck yes, I'm going to bring out bacon. It's going to be bacon chocolate ice cream. And I forgot to add the salsa to the pan of... this is... very, very tight. Very tight. That's what she said. Oh. What we have. You know what? We may not be doing queso. Nope. We're getting some movement. Some movement. I beat the shit out of it. Probably because I'm beating the shit out of it. It's all like compressed. I don't have any fucking thing. Come on. This was not part of the show. Not part of the show. But, yeah, you get to see me struggle. Cool. That's great. Super fun. There we go. We got it. After I beat the shit out of it. So let's add salsa. That was about 1/4 cup. Alright! Fuck! That was a lot. You'd eat that compressed queso. Okay. Now we are going to do our beans. What did I do with that? So let's get this off the heat real quick. Get this back on the heat. And we're going to take some charro beans and we're going to take some ranch style beans. I want the liquid of one, but not the liquid of the other. All right. Let's do the liquid of the charro. Of the ranch style. So we're just going to add that to our food processor. There we go. We're going to drain the charro beans. I don't need that bean liquor. That bean liquor Is beat the shit out of it an official step, or can I skip that part? No, you gotta not skip that part. You gotta beat the shit out of it. If you don't, it doesn't count. All right, now we're gonna puree these beans. Very, very simple. Done. All right. Now we're just gonna add them to the skillet. That's nice and warm with the bacon grease. And that's it. Look at that. That's gonna be great. Here we go. Boom. Set this aside for later. Make us some bean dip out of it. And so this is going to absorb all of this bacon grease. You want to just kind of stir it. Beans are wonderful as a thickener because they're just going to absorb all the flavors that you give them. And later we'll add some queso fresco to this, and it'll be delicious. All right. I think we should start our queso. What do you say? We should start our queso. That meat isn't going to take all that long. By the time our queso and meat is done, our rice should be done. We can fry some chips. It'll be good. And there we go. Refried beans, my guys. Done. Put that aside. Pan's hot. Let's add some salsa. Fuck it. Just add all the salsa. We're going to add some Velveeta, and we're going to add some cream cheese. So, let's get to it. Just open the cream cheese up. This has been room temp cream cheese. This has been softened. You want to make sure that it is softened. Otherwise, you will be beating the shit out of it while you are cooking, which apparently is the theme of the day, is beat the shit out of it. Because it's got a crap ton of fat, and it just does not do well. So you've got to mix it. So you want to make sure that you have creamed your cream cheese. So we'll take our whisk, and we're just going to whip up this cream cheese into this salsa. Get it nice and smooth. Otherwise, we will just have bites of cream cheese in the queso, which will not be bad. It's just broken. That's when chefs talk on TV about a sauce that is broken. There's nothing wrong with the sauce. It has just been broke. As you can see, it's broken. So by whipping it up, it will not be as broken. And it will melt into this beautiful creamy mixture. And you just kind of got to put your back into it, you know? Put your hips all in it. There we go. Now we're just going to take our Velveeta and add that to it. You don't have to cube it or with a knife. Just take your hand, block, 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 cut, chop, squeeze. There we go. Will you look at that? All done. Nice and pretty. Pretty, pretty. Get your hands washed real quick. All right, what's next? So we'll set that over here. Turn our back burner on. Plate up our refried beans. There we go. And now we get to start our hamburger meat. We get to start our taco meat. Because our what's it called? The shells and the tortillas are not going to take a very long. So we don't have to worry about them. So, pan, heat, Let's make sure that we can use that one. Make sure we're watching our queso. We don't want it to scorch. It's going to kind of give it a nice little stir. And then that heat, as it builds, will melt. All right. So the pan is getting nice and hot. We're going to do about a pound of this ground beef. So this is 2 pounds. We're just going to take about half of it, add it into our skillet. Then we'll take the other half and we'll freeze it for a later date. Rinse your hands off real quick. Now we get to make some taco seasoning. Taco seasoning. It's great. Super great. Alright. Let's do this. Do this, do this. I did you why. Do this, do this. Okay, so we got our spatula out. We're just going to kind of break up this ground meat. You just kind of want to cut into it. Just cut into it. There we go. Alright, taco seasoning. We're going to start with some salt. About a good tablespoon of salt. Nice big flavor. We want about another 2 teaspoons of black pepper. Actually, 1.5 teaspoon black pepper. Boom. Let's get some onion powder. I just bought this, so it is brand new. Of course, gotta open it up. We want a good tablespoon of onion powder. Get another good tablespoon of garlic powder. About a tablespoon and a half. Then we need some cumin. We want about a teaspoon. Teaspoon. There we go. And then we need some chili powder. You're already hungry. That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying. All right. We'll do about a tablespoon and a half of chili powder. We'll give this all a stir. And so this meat, all that fat is going to break up all of that bacon that was in that onion that kind of scorched the bottom, all those flavor crystals. And A, it helps clean your pan, and B, you get all those flavors imparted into this meat. Here we go. Give it a nice little stir. Just like that. It's going to brown. Now we just kind of make sure we're stirring our queso. And that's almost ready. Man, it's looking good. Looking real good. We'll turn the heat down on that sucker to a medium heat. And then we'll check our temperature of the oil one more time. And then we're going to cut some tortillas. Get rid of our onion. Get rid of our spatula. Wipe down our cutting board. As there's nothing raw bit on here, we can still use it. All right. So next, we're going to take some tortillas and we're going to make some chips out of them. Corn tortillas, very simple. Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to use 6. And you just want to take this and cut this into wedges. So we're going to take this, cut it in half. Cut it in half again. There we go. Take one. And we're just going to add it to our oil. Shit. When did we turn this off? Turn the oil off. Fuck. Oh well. Somehow or another, we turned our oil off. And that's fine. It will come back to heat really quickly. Fry those chips and be delicious. Meat's going. Our rice is done. Our queso is almost done. So now we're just going to wait and do some tortillas and some, that's it, and some chips. Just waiting for this to heat up. Queso's melted. Turn the heat off on the queso. Ground beef is working. Let's see, we'll probably chop some tomato for garnish and some lettuce. We'll make it so, number one. We'll make it so. How you guys doing, chat? You guys following along? You guys having a good time? Understanding the process of what we're doing? It's nothing all that complicated. You can totally do this at home. Get those chips set aside. We're gonna do a few tortillas. We'll do 1, 2, 3, 4. We're gonna do 4 tortillas and we're gonna make them crispy. We got our bowl with the little bit of some napkins in there. That away, all we've got to do, let's get this out of the way. I'm sorry, I didn't mean for you guys to see that. Someone should have said something. That way we can salt them and everything will be nice and kosher. All right, our chips are starting to fry up. Get our tongs. There we go. These are gonna be delicious. So delicious. I blow kisses. Check on our rice. Oh, it's still cooking. It's not done yet. It's almost done. I misread the light. All right. Ground beef is looking dope. Gonna turn the heat off. There we go. The residual heat from the pan and the heat as it is dying down from the skillet or from the burner will finish cooking the meat. Our chips are working. There we go. As you can see, they're starting to get nice color on them. Let's plate up our queso. Here we go. All right. Starting to get good. Nice and solid. What do we got? Just watching and drooling over here. I mean, that's all you really can do, man. It's all you really can do at this point. It's just kind of like, what else can I do? Except sit here and be like, oh my gosh, Becky, look at her chips. They're like one of those Mexican guys' girlfriends. Throw this in here. Starting getting those things nice and crispy. Yes, sir. Yeah. As you can see, we got a lot more bubbles going on. That heat is starting to rise up. Kind of let that go. Our meat is done, ready to be plated. Let's get us a little bit of garnish for our tacos. So we just want to cut this tomato in half. And then we're going to cut it in half again. And then we're going to seed it. So you take it just like this, and you're going to run your knife down the middle and get those seeds out, all that liquid. And you take it and do it again. Just like this. You're just going to follow the flesh. Just like that. Then we're going to take it and cut it into strips. Boom, 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 boom. Turn it, dice it. Nice little, fine little mince on there. Nice little diced tomato. Do it again. Let the blade of the knife do its job. Watching our chips at the same time. And then we just throw a dice on it. Set that aside. That, nice and neat. Done and done. Alright, let's check our chips. Starting to come together right now over me. Alright. Still a little soft. You know what I'm saying. I hope you don't, because nobody wants that. Yeah, nobody likes soft chips. We're just going to kind of let them fry for a couple more minutes as that heat comes up. And yeah, that's really it. We just kind of hang out. Everything's ready to go. We're just waiting on our rice. Which is almost done. I hope. If not, you know, we're just going to wait on the rice. Alright. So I have to throw some of these chips in the basket. You can tell when they're done as they're crisping up and they're floating to the top with very, very few bubbles. Very, very few bubbles. And then we'll salt them as we take them out. And we'll throw the next batch in. And then we'll do our tortillas. Our crispy tacos. We'll just kind of toss these guys in here. And as you can see, they're already starting to boil. Let's get a little salt. Salt on those chips. And we'll actually do a little bit of chili powder too. There we go. Give them a nice little toss. All right. Set our tomato to the side. Chips. Now we're going to get a little bit of lettuce. Now I don't like doing iceberg lettuce. I prefer romaine. So we're just going to take one leaf of romaine lettuce. Because I'm only doing like 4 tacos. I'm not doing a whole lot. So you don't need much. We're going to rinse this real quick. A little bit of aguas. And then we'll pat it dry. And then checking on our chips, they're looking good. I'm going to go turn them real quick. I'm going to do it with those tongs. Yeah. Just kind of give them a quick flip. Coming out nice. A few more minutes on that. So now we're going to cut the end off, rid of that, and we're going to roll this sumbitch. We're just going to roll this nice and blunt like. So you just go back to your smoking days. You just tighten this shit up. And we're going to throw a quick chiffonade on that. Chiffonade is just, you roll it super, super tight, and then you slice it super, super thin. So we're just going to keep our knuckles back. There we go. Just like that. Boom, 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 boom. Do, 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 do. That's all we need. Nice lettuce. Just like that. For our tacos. Put those aside. Just like that. Clean off the knife. Just take a quick throw to the trash can. As you can see, these chips are done. All these in here. Rice is still cooking. So we're doing good on time. About to salt these bad boys. All right. A little salt, a little chili powder. A little salt. Boom. A little chile. Just like that. Give them a quick toss. Done. Now comes the fun part. Making the tortillas. Because I've never done this, so let's hope we don't fuck it up. Alright, set those there. And we're going to make some crispy shells. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to hold this at an angle till it starts to firm up and get crispy. And then I'm going to do it again on the other side. Just like that. And so I'm just going to turn it. Basically turning it into a giant chip. There we go. Just like that. Little poofy taco. Crunchy taco. Alright. Now for the next one. You start it. That fold over. And just kind of roll it through the oil. Now this is corn oil. It's not vegetable oil. It's not peanut oil. I wanted to do corn oil because I'm using corn tortillas. And it just seemed to make sense to me. So then we'll do this again on the other side. And then we'll let it go and we'll do another one while that fries up. There we go. Start it. Fold it over. Let it go. Fold it over. This one's done. Oil out of there. Let's get this one folded over. Sometimes you got to compress it a little bit, as it definitely made a quick air pocket. Alright, that rice is taking a lot longer than I was expecting. Maybe I should have just done a cup of rice instead of 2 cups of rice. So we may end with literally just refried beans and guac and the tacos. Get these nice and crispy. Drained. Uno maso. So I melt my thermometer. There we go. This is really easy. This isn't as complicated as I thought. I guess it can be if you haven't really done a lot of cooking and things before that are a little bit more finessey. But you just kind of hold it until it starts to bend. And then you go from there. Kind of press it in. Fold it, shape it. Bop it, spin it. That's really it. I wish it was more complicated. It looks like it probably would be complicated, but it's not. And that's it. We have tacos. Tacos, tacos, tacos. Doesn't it look so good? Let's do a little bit of salt on those bad boys. Now those are hot. I don't want to touch them real quick. We're going to clean up a little bit. Get our rice put away. I bought some flour tortillas. Ooh, let's make some flautas while we got the time. Let's do a flour tortilla. And a couple of flour tortillas. Let's see how that works. See how we got plenty of time. Let's try this out. So I love me a good flauta. Taquitos are bomb too. So we'll just kind of let that go. Turn that over. Oh, this is how you make puffy tacos. Is with the flour tortilla. Makes a lot of sense. I didn't think about that. So it's literally nothing but air. We got ourselves a little puffy taco. Everybody loves a good puffy taco. Don't you? Don't you? Alright. Done. Guess we can start to plate. I'm going to eat this tortilla because I'm kind of hungry. Pretty tasty. Okay, there's area cleaned up so we can plate on our board. Alright. Let's get our nice board out. Flip flop. Alright. Get a couple of spoons. Yeah, that rice isn't going to be done for a hot minute. Another bite of tortilla. Stir our beans. Stir our queso. A little bit of cotija cheese on the beans. Set this board aside. The beans. Queso. Guacamole. Taco. 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 Chips. Actually, we don't need that one. Put this over here. Some more chips. Just like that. Out of the way. Scoot this over so you can see it. Cook or grub. All right. Other spoon. We're going to fill our tacos. A little bit of the ground meat. A little lettuce. A little tomato. We got one. Let's do another. A little bit of ground beef. So these are crispy tortilla shells, so you got to be careful because they will break on you. A little bit of lettuce. This lettuce is nice and stringy. A little tomato. There we go. Two more, guys. Two more. A little bit of the meat. Nothing to it. A little cheese. A little tomato and a little lettuce. There you go. One more. Get this level set. Filled up. There we go. Lettuce.
String of this.
Tomato. Here we go. Just like that. A little bit of cheese. And we would have done the Spanish rice, but it wasn't done in time. But here we are. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Cypher Zone. We're wrapping up. We've got a little bit of smashed guacamole, refried beans done with charo and ranch style, a little bit of queso, homemade chips, homemade crunchy tacos with ground beef, sliced lettuce, cotija cheese, and diced tomato. That's it. Thank you, guys. Stay gold, Pony Boys. That's it. Y'all fine. I appreciate it for stopping in. This puppy taco is delicious. So good. So freaking good.